we seeing a cooling trend in the market in Phoenix? We're going to talk about that on today's video. Hi, I'm Jason Geroux. I'm the owner and designated broker of 410 Real Estate, a multi-million-dollar producing real estate brokerage here in Gilbert, Arizona. And I am thrilled to have you guys watching with us today. Before we get started talking about the August stats and the market update, I would love if you would do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be made aware of when we put out videos like this. We try and put videos out that are helpful about real estate, about the community, about Arizona in general, and we also love to highlight local businesses so that you know who you can go out and support and shop local whenever possible. But let's get into it. It is that time once again.
This is the main event of the evening.
For the market update, I know it's been a little bit since we gave you one, but we just got the August stats in, so they're fresh off the press here, and I wanted to let you know what is happening. So I mentioned when we started that we're seeing a little bit of a cooling trend. That's not to say prices are coming down, that's not to say any of that sort of thing, but we are seeing numbers of transactions going down, and we're seeing median prices kind of flatten out. In August, there was 8,600 homes sold, which is down about 1% month over month, but down about 3% year over year. So that's interesting to note. There's also 9,900 new homes on the market, which is up barely 0.03% month over month and about less than 1% year over year. So total inventory right now is about 11,500. Keeping in mind, however, that the ones that are under contract already account for about 35 to 40% of that. We're looking at having about a 1.35 month supply on the market. So what does that mean? If you've been watching any of our market updates, you've seen the trajectory of the supply going up, right? So we've seen it from all the way down at like 0.6 or 0.5 months supply, now up to 1.34 months supply. So that indicates obviously a little bit of a slowdown in the market, an increase in inventory, and buyers maybe have cooled off or made different decisions and things like that. So let's talk prices. The average list price is up 15% year over year to $512,000. The median is up 25% year over year at $420,000. So again, medium, equal number above and below is $420,000, but the average is $512,000. Those are list prices. We've talked about it before. List price equals fantasy land. Closed price equals reality. So we can list homes all day long at whatever you price you want to list them for. It doesn't mean the market will give that to you. So what have we closed at? The average sale price is up 23% year over year. It is $490, a little under $491. And the median is up about 25% year over year and is $405. So still 23% growth year over year. List prices are up, like I said, 15% year over year. So we are still seeing an increase in value. However, the forecast for September and going forward is kind of barely an increase, almost a flattening of those prices, maybe the 495 mark and the 410 mark. Hey, 410. That sounds familiar.
Roll credits.
One thing that has come up is days on market. We're actually up month over month, just a day, but we are seeing anecdotally in September here now, end of August into September, we're starting to see homes that are sitting on the market for 7 days. Can you believe it? We're seeing like 7 to 10 days on some of these homes that were going off the shelf within hours. And so we are definitely seeing a bit of a slowdown, and we're also at the end of the foreclosure forbearance that was provided for COVID assistance, basically allowing people to postpone their mortgage payments because of financial difficulties. So what does that mean? We're forecasting nationally an increase in foreclosures potentially as people come out of that mortgage forbearance. However, in Arizona, with values from, if you assume that homes prior to COVID were purchased prior to COVID, you're probably looking at about a $310,000 home back then, and it's up 35% now on average between March of 2020 and now. So the idea that if someone was in forbearance in Arizona and needed to get that assistance at the time, even if they still are having a hard time paying without the forbearance, we see that they could potentially sell that property rather than losing it to foreclosure. So I don't know if in Arizona we're going to see a lot of foreclosures. We're going to see a little bit of an increase, I'm sure, but for the most part, sellers should be able to sell the home rather than lose it to foreclosure and still gain some equity even potentially. So the last thing that I wanted to touch on is just kind of a general thought about the market, which is that yes, a slowdown is here. That doesn't necessarily mean prices are going to come down anytime soon. The estimates I've seen is maybe even in the next 12 to 18 months, still seeing a slight increase in prices. But as supply goes up and starts to even out with demand, that does balance our market out. So we're still very skewed to the seller side right now, but there is a lot more opportunity for buyers. And the one thing I wanted to point out about buyers, I hear all the time from buyers saying, I'm just going to wait about a year or so and see when the prices start to come down. And I just want to share two pieces of information that may influence that decision a little bit. One is, yes, in a year, you may have more choices, you may have a bit easier of a process, but you also might have a higher price than it is now. And even if the price is corrected 10%, let's say, you're still going to be looking at probably today's prices are a little bit less. And the problem is we're forecasting interest rates increasing in the meantime. So you might not be able to afford the same house that you would afford now, because if an interest rate goes up half or a full point, for instance, that could put you out of the purchase of that type of home and maybe even price you out of the market, unfortunately. Just food for thought, you might want to think about that. But it's a super exciting time still to be in real estate. It's still a very hot market. This time of year typically does slow down anyway. And I did just want to touch quickly on the rental stats, because I know that some of our clients are interested in that. So in August, there were just over 1,000 rental properties closed. That was compared to 1,900 in July and 1,700 in June. June and July are typically our big months for rentals, just because school's transitioning and people want to move at that point. But here's the kicker. Back in April, I just want to kind of put this in perspective. We had an average rental rate of about $1,750 or $1,775. We now have that was a median number. We now have a median lease at $2,100. In the same time frame, we had about a $1,950 average for rental prices, and our average lease now in our MLS is $2,265 a month. So rentals are still staying on the market less than a month. They're still moving quickly, and I guess just food for thought. If you're going to pay $2,265 in rent, maybe it is time to look into purchasing, and there's down payment assistance options and all those kinds of things to help. So I know I talk a lot on these market updates. I hope it was helpful. If it was, do me a favor, hit the share button and share it with a friend of yours and let them know what the Phoenix market is doing. If you know anyone looking to buy or sell, definitely get this information in their hands. That would be much appreciated. And comment below. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen over the next 12 months? I'd love to get your thoughts and your opinions, see if they match what the prognosticators are giving, or if you think something drastically different is going to happen. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I appreciate you tuning in to the episode today. Appreciate you being part of the 410 family, and we will see you